So I found this interesting Jubilee video called Teen Boys Anonymously Answer seven burning questions. And the first one I see is, do you watch porn? Boom. Let's get into it. Let me get situated for this video real quick. I gotta look spiffy for these questions. I can't be looking a fool while doing this. Mask Off is a social experiment exploring authenticity and anonymity. The views expressed in this video are the opinions and experiences of the cast members whose names have been changed for their privacy. So they want privacy while answering these weird 17 boy questions, obviously. They got that
In an age of
mask on.
callouts, culture wars, and perfect facades, people can be afraid to express how they really feel. So we brought together 7 strangers, protected their identities, and asked them all 7 burning audience questions.
Carl.
What will be revealed when we take the mask off?
Mask off, yeah, mask off. So they got Kai, Liz, Brandon, Carl, Nathan, Will, and Jared. That's some Stranger Things names right there. Except for Kai, Brandon, Carl, Nathan, and Jared, and Liz. You see what I'm getting here, but okay.
If the answer is yes, you will flip on your light. Do you watch porn?
It's accessible, and because it's accessible and it's there, people use it. I'm one of them.
I think most guys can agree that they have at least at some point watched it.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, it's if you can enjoy it.
Don't lie. Alright, look. Don't lie, yo. Have you ever watched it? It's perfectly healthy. It's perfectly healthy. Do not lie, yo. Do not lie. In the comments, tell me if you have.
In a healthy way, if you can enjoy masturbating in a healthy way, I think then like by all means go for it. But
yeah, I do watch porn. God. A lot of my teenage years, I spent a lot of time self-obsessing over it to the point where it kind of became an addiction. And it took until very recently to get out of the hole of, paying for porn. I do watch it, but I don't like that I watch it.
I'm gonna bring everyone else into the conversation.
I said no. I used to watch it a lot before. I would say I was addicted to it. My dad is in prison, so there was no one really for me to talk to about sex. So porn was my education on sex.
I feel like if people really wanted to know about, I don't know why I'm even doing this.
Personal experience, it messed me up because after watching it so much, I'm sure we've all been there where you're on page 5 and like nothing is right. Like you're looking for that right video, but your dopamine receptors and everything is so messed up at this point that the same thing that would get you off wouldn't get you off anymore, right? I went so deep into it where I'm a straight man, I started watching trans porn because it was just erotic in a different way that I've never seen before. I needed more stimulation.
Because of pornography.
Yes, because of pornography. So I don't think it's just entertainment. It actually affects with your brain and the way you perceive love.
Do you think that a lot of teenagers or teen boys are really educated on the effects of pornography?
No.
No, not at all.
Have you ever cried in front of someone else?
I mean, yeah, everybody has to cry in front of somebody else. It's just showing emotion, that's all. Because crying is just one emotion. That's just a basic emotion. Who wouldn't cry in front of somebody? That's just like showing their weakness. Who wouldn't show their weakness in front of somebody? I don't know. Unless you're just trying to appear tough.
I wholeheartedly agree with this statement. I feel like it's easier to open up towards women, which is kind of embarrassing, but quite frankly, I feel like they understand emotions more because they really understand the whole crying. I mean, I feel like crying is sort of normal to them, and they see of it as like a way to express themselves.
It's interesting that you said that you're more comfortable to cry in front of women. I had a girlfriend and she broke up with me over text. And before that, we were like talking and I cried in front of her and I was being honest and I thought that's what you're supposed to do. That's what my dad taught me, right? But I guess she interpreted it as being insecure and she broke up with me and that really messed me up for a little while because it's like, well, now I know I can't show any kind of insecurity. So I don't like crying in front of women. Like I'd rather cry in front of some family that I trust, right?
That's interesting because I'd rather find a stranger on the street and tell them everything I'm going through because I will never see them again in my life. And I feel like they won't be able to judge me.
No
I'll
strings
never
attached.
see them.
I'd rather have a stranger think I'm strong and my family know all my problems, so it's interesting.
Feminism has gone too far.
That's a strong topic. And two people disagreed.
In the feminism movement, there's so much of tearing down men or trying to put men back in their spot. But if the women want us men to step up, then I feel like it'd be a lot more productive instead of tearing down men and telling us all what we're doing wrong, than to, on the other hand, to build us up. I guess for the sake of keeping us accountable for our actions, and as men, we also need to step up.
Giving females more opportunities to certain things, I just think that's quite unfair, and it's like you got to put in the work, you got to put in the certain things to earn these things, and it's not like women are granted less access to these jobs. I mean, I know there's plenty of women who are in business who are doing good things for America. I just find it counterintuitive that this whole feminist movement is advocating for equal rights in certain things when they already have access to them.
I'm a feminist, I guess. I believe in the equality of men and women. I think that when we talk about feminism, a lot of it boils down to employment. I think that the bringing down of men, you guys keep on saying bringing down men and shaming them, I think that is way overstated. I have never been shamed for my maleness.
I think, you know, if you look at any movement, there's definitely going to be like a radical portion of that movement. But at the same time, I want to open up the question to you guys. Do any of you guys have personal experience where you feel you've been brought down, you know, like to bring a woman up?
A little bit like in high school. And it's not like the worst thing in the world. We have like an ASB my sophomore year, there was like happy thoughts, right? Like every Friday you just write something and you put it in the bin. It'll just be the girls and then some, you know, more of the feminine guys complimenting each other, which is not a problem, but as they're complimenting each other, oh, look at you, you're killing it, and then they'll even like insult me. It went from being happy thought to build up Women Day. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's a wall and we should break down that wall and focus on the human race.
Yeah,
Not women, not men, not Mexicans, not this. We should all bring each other up.
I've been anxious about my penis size.
Ooh. Now that's a big question. That's a big question right there. And 3 people disagreed. Wow.
I started watching pornography, I think around the age of 11 or 12, and that's a very impressionable, vulnerable place to be in. So of course, there's always these feelings about looking at your body.
Yeah, and I think the competition is probably what affects me the most part, you know? It's the thing you're like, I know good and well there's dudes bigger than me, and she says it doesn't matter, but it still plays on my mental when I go to sleep at night.
Currently, I'm not really like afraid of the size that I have because I am kind of becoming more confident in my body and the way that I am. And I don't really feel like it's going to matter nearly as much when you're with someone for 10 years as you are for like a one-night stand. So I am not personally like that uncomfortable with my size.
Everything that you just said like is true, and like you just need to become confident in your own self by knowing what people really look for. But like, it's hard to get on Netflix and watch Euphoria and think like these are like grown-ass men playing high school people, and you think like, well, that's not what I look like. And then you think about like every person that I have been with or will be with has probably seen this. I think that's really where that anxiety comes from. It's just the fact that other people probably have expectations.
I have questioned my sexuality.
I guess growing up, I was never one of like the jocks of school. I always was into music, I was always into theater, and so growing up, I was always bullied because of that, because I was being too gay or whatever, and I always hung out with the girls. And so I definitely did kind of buy into what everyone else was saying, the peer pressure of like saying, oh, you're gay, this is how you're gonna end up turning out because this is how you are now. With where I am now in my life, I've just kind of gotten to a place where I've grown to be confident. I know what my identity is.
People thinking that definitely, like, it gets you thinking, It gets you thinking like, well, like, am I or should I be? It's like, should I be attracted to dudes because I like things that are quote unquote gay? But then I guess it just reveals the issue that, like, we've made certain things gay and made certain things straight.
Yeah, right. Mine didn't stem from any kind of like extra like curricular activity. My stuff stemmed from porn, as I mentioned before. And when I started watching trans porn, and it's weird to say, but like I got really nervous. I got really nervous because I thought maybe I'd be gay. And so I did my research on it, and I was kind of obsessed with trying to figure out like what this could mean. And all the stuff I would look up was saying like if you watch trans porn, you're still straight because they're women and stuff like that. But I'm thinking like, what would my family think? I've never sought out, and like every time I talk to a trans woman in real life, there's no like actual attraction there. So I'm still lost in the fact of what I actually am attracted to, but I guess I am still straight because they are women.
Quite frankly, right now I feel happy with my sexuality, and I feel that it's not wrong to question your sexuality. In terms of law in America, like, you're free to question whatever you want. You can question your religion, you can question your culture. It's just society is the things that constrains those certain things to be what's normal and what's wrong.
I feel like there's such a strong stigma to be straight, or strong like a pushing you into it, that even right now I feel the desire to like explain myself, even though we're anonymous right now. I feel like I've never been with I've only been with like actual like cis women, but like I know this, like no one is judging me. We're all here to be honest. But it's such a stigma that from the last 18 years of my life, that in this moment right now I feel embarrassed and ashamed for something that's just the way it is.
I'm scared of dying.
Am I scared of dying? Well, it's kind of half and half, but if I were to say specifically, it's kind of 3/4 and 1/4, because 1/4 of me is like, well, it's like half and half, because look, you have to die someday, but you don't know when you will die. But then you do know when you will die if you have like a sickness or something. So kind of not and kind of am scared of dying, because on this side you will know when you will die and you have to die eventually, and this side is when you like want to experience everything before you eventually have to die. So it's kind of half and half for me.
I think of it as like, I'm extremely scared of death. I mean, I watched my father die like right before me. It's a scary thing. They just stop breathing. And just the idea of like nothing is just extremely terrifying to me. It's like you don't really know what's going on. Like, are you even thinking? Are you even there? You're just a blip out of just space.
It is terrifying. We don't know. And as a Christian, I want to pretend that like I know that there's heaven and hell, but at the end of the day, I genuinely don't know.
Yeah, I think I always had the fear as a kid growing up that I'm gonna die and like not fulfill like what I wanted to do here on Earth, right? But every time I thought about dying, it was as an old person. But 2 years ago, when I started working as a lifeguard, this lady and her friend came to the pool, and I have the music going and everything. She just starts having a seizure, and luckily, I did everything right, and EMS showed up, and she was safe. But then 2 weeks later, she unfortunately had another seizure while driving, and she died. And that's when I realized life is like, it can happen to anyone at any point, and if I just die and don't do anything with my life, then that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying before. Like, if you still have stuff that you want to do before you would die, then that's why you will kind of be scared of dying in some way or form. But
I said that I don't fear death because unlike you guys, I don't really have an experience, so much hands-on experience with death.
Am I afraid of the fact that I will die someday? No. But I think, obviously the fact that it might come way sooner than you expect is a scary thought. But like, it's the one thing that makes life like special. You know what I mean? It's the one thing I feel like that actually gives meaning to it. Because if you would never die, then you would never do anything. Because you would always have more time to do it.
Final question.
Do you guys feel like you can actually be your genuine self when you're like talking to a girl or hanging out with a girl?
There's definitely a difference between like talking or opening up to like my friends that are girls versus like a girl that I'm interested in.
Like obviously if you're trying to impress a girl, you're gonna be dressed nicely, you're gonna wear some cologne, you're not gonna like fart around her, right? It's like it's a filter thing. But like when it comes to your mom, like your mom's a girl, and I wholeheartedly trust my mom. So I'm gonna be myself around the people I trust more.
I guess that's what it is. There's a lot of times I walk away with talking to a girl I'm really interested in. I'm like, man, I didn't just go up and be me. And then my best friend, right? He used to be my best friend. He's kind of a womanizer, but I see him get so much success. And every time I've gotten success is doing things that he's done, which is just putting on a facade, telling them what they want to hear.
I think it's good to be yourself because, you can only put a mask on for so long. It's refreshing to talk to people and realize that I'm not the only one who feels a certain way about things. It's nice, and it's a step in the right direction for me in becoming more comfortable with being open and honest with everybody.
I think just the whole open conversation, like this won't bite me in the end later, or like someone's not gonna listen to this and think, oh, that guy's bad. I have more safety of expressing my honest opinions, and whether those be good opinions or bad opinions, it's a better way to express one's true self without trying to be influenced by what high school is and all the people influencing you in high school, because frankly, high school is just popular culture, what people think is popular.
Thank you so much.
That was a good video. These questions kind of turn personal in like a little sense, but make sure you like the video, subscribe to Jubilee first. Before you subscribe to me, subscribe to Jubilee, because they make this content good. Even though I'm not subscribed, but even though I should, just for this time. But anyway, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Anyway, peace. Anyway, bye bye. Anyway, I should stop talking.